What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Miss Teen Crypto Show. I'm your host, Randi Hipper, back at it on this lovely Monday with an amazing guest. But before we get to him, please, guys, share some love to each other. Share some love to the stream. Smash those likes, subscribe, share the stream out with friends so more people can learn about today's guests, catch up with the TA, and of course, have conversations with you guys because you guys are all amazing. Again, thank you for being here. Really appreciate it. Hope you guys enjoyed the Super Bowl. We all know that was a crazy one. Sam, Crypto Lifer, welcome back to the show. How are you feeling? How was your weekend?
It was amazing. I've been watching, I feel like there's controversy over everything these days. Like I even have friends that stopped watching the NFL. But I can't do that. I played football as a kid. I loved it. I love the thrill. I watched Tom Brady's, I love football. I'm sure there's some things that aren't great about it, and I'm open-minded and conscious about those things. But I just love football. I watch football with my dad when my mom and sister would go shopping. And so I watch the Super Bowl every year. Funny, one of my friends, he invited me over. I said, my wife didn't want to chase the baby. We didn't want to be rude, but she's like, I don't want to chase the baby at their house, their stairs. So I just said, my wife doesn't really want to chase the baby, but you guys could come to our house if you want. And they never texted us. But apparently he sent like a voice text, but it didn't go through. And so our doorbell rang and we were like, what the heck? And they were there and they brought wings. And so we ended up having kind of a really good time unexpectedly last night. So yeah, that was kind of fun, I guess, and I wanted Mahomes to win personally. I like Patrick Mahomes. He's like a hero. So yeah, it all worked out. I had 7-4. I put $150. One of my buddies said, hey, I need money. He's like, I know you got money. I'm running out of squares. Just buy it. I said, I'll buy $500 worth of squares. I said, whatever you don't sell, let me know. He's been there for me my whole life. So I said, whatever you don't sell, I'll pick them up. Just let me know. And he's like, all right, 3. He's like, I ended up 3 for you. I had 7-4. And I don't know if you remember watching the first quarter, but it was 14. It was going to be 14-7. And I had Eagles 7. And I just needed the Eagles not to, and they did. And then the second quarter, I was going to win $1,500. And the Eagles just had to kick that field goal and it would have been 17-14. And, what they do is they hold 3 seconds just to get the other team off sides. And they waited and the guy went off sides. So they got the first down and they scored the touchdown. I would have won $1,500. So like whatever, but it was fun. And I was gonna donate it to charity too. I went out to get ice cream and I said, God, if I hit this quarter, I'll donate it to charity. You know what I mean? So it was fun. You'll have to have some fun in there, So that was my Super Bowl.
Aw, that's so cute. Thanks, Type Crow, for the super chat, by the way. And I really love that you had an unexpected good time because I feel like those are the best times is that you just didn't expect it. People show up and you're like, yeah. You know what? This actually worked out. What kind of wings did they bring? Just didn't expect it.
Yeah, I mean, you never knew. And the wings were good too.
What kind of wings were they?
He brought honey barbecue and buffalo, right? It's the staple, and he made them himself. They were really good.
Damn, homemade wing. I did the same thing yesterday. I made wings by myself too. It was so awesome.
There you go.
Do you have an air fryer?
My wife does have an air fryer.
Yes, it's so good. Air fry everything.
Eggplant palm last weekend or somewhere during the week. It was really good. Yep. And it's not all oily and dripping.
Exactly. That's why I've been making wings in. And it's healthier. Still a lot of salt though. But it is what it is. At least we're trying out here. But air fryers are amazing. I'm team air fryer. I'm bullish on air fryers. Are you so you're okay with the Super Bowl? The Chiefs won, and you're bullish on the Chiefs for next year? Do you think they could keep this up?
I mean, it comes down to the coaching. Like me being a Patriots fan, we had Belichick for years. When you have a coach locked in with the quarterback, like you have Mahomes and Andy Reid, I mean, it's a match made in heaven, man. They could go on for a few more years. I mean, he could stay healthy. He's young. So, yeah, I mean, they got Kelsey. They got a squad. And they got the spirit. You see Kelsey at the end.
He was so passionate on the field right after they won.
Like, that's what you would have done. Like, you wouldn't have answered any questions. You'd be like, I told you.
No, I love the passion. And Mahomes was hurt. I know his ankle was hurt. So, props to that. And that's a grind right there. And speaking of the grind, in crypto, we are always on the grind. This is relentless stuff. And Lifer, you are always live, my guy. In the morning, I go on YouTube. You're there. I tune in. I'm listening to some TA Alpha. In the evenings, you're live listening to some TA. How often do you go live for people that may not have seen you before? And I'm going to drop your YouTube link in the live chat as you're speaking about this. But how often do you go live?
It's funny. I've been doing interviews and people keep assuming you go live twice a day, right? I mean, you're live twice a day. And I go live once a day, but it's Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m., Saturday and Sunday nights at 8 p.m. But what I started doing was I do these awesome updates. If you're in my trading group, I do a morning update for Bitcoin. Like one day in my trading group, I did like a video update because Bitcoin was a little more complex. So I couldn't just post a chart. So I did a video update. And I've been in a trading group for years where my mentor and other people had posted like a video, like just a chart. I was like, man, there's so much more to convey. Like if it drops from this level, I'm going to do this. But if it does this, I'm going to do that. And like a chart's just a picture. And a picture is 1,000 words, but a video is like 10,000.
Exactly.
Right? So I started doing these video updates in the morning, like right when I woke up, like between 5 and 7 a.m. Everything okay? All right. So I just hear the baby and I'm like, so I was like, and they're really inclusive. They're awesome. And I thought if I was a beginner, if I didn't know, these updates would make me feel warm and cozy inside, like my mentor showing me what's likely possible for the day. And they pan out pretty well. Like 80% of the time, kind of what I map out in the morning tends to play out into the night. So I started one morning, I said, why don't I do this update for free Saturday morning? Like one day I woke up on Saturday. You know what it is you do the update too big inside of OBS. And when it's too big, it doesn't go up to Discord. So then I have to upload it to YouTube. All right. And then just send a YouTube link to my crew. That happens sometimes. So this time it happened. I went over limit and I put it out and then I was like, man, that's a pretty good update. Why don't I just leave it as an actual, public post?
Yeah.
So I posted it and then that hit me and then it got like 2,000 views. And I did the math. I was like, that's another 8,000 views a month. I said, hey, and it's a good advertisement for my Discord because I say, hey, this is the type of update you would get every day. And so we started doing that. So we do a morning update on the weekends too now, long story short.
Love
so
it.
Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Saturday mornings from like 8 to 9, I pop on it. I've been trying to do 8:30. It's impromptu. It's somewhere between 8 and 9:30. And then every Saturday and Sunday night at 8 p.m. and Sunday night for Bitcoin in the weekly candle close.
You are so amazing. You are endlessly grinding, and even your community too. Spaghetti Rigetti became a member, and you guys are always just so supportive. And I always see 333 everywhere now. Even yesterday, I was looking at the clock and I saw 333, and I was like, "Oh, lifer!" It's everywhere, and just the energy that you give off is amazing. And why do you I know I want to get you too emotional because I know we're always so emotional. We always end up crying together. But why do you have such a passion for TA? If you want to recap, if maybe people are meeting you now, why are you so passionate about TA? Why are you so passionate about your community?
It goes back to being lost and not really having my way. A lot of traders lose money because they're lost and they don't have their way, right? They don't have the education. And so a lot of the my story through TA is kind of my story in life. We get somewhere, we have hopes and dreams, but we get battered. Things happen. They don't go our way and we get depressed and, sometimes it's for lack of, why don't things go well? So, lack of education, lack of skill. Maybe we enter into something and we have bigger dreams than we realize we can accomplish. Maybe the reality of that situation isn't real. You know what I mean? I'm going to become an amazing football player, but if you don't practice every single day, you can't get upset if it doesn't happen. So it's we get caught up in life. We have plans and dreams, but sometimes we don't always accomplish them. And then we can end up in a depressed state. Kind of happened to me. Once I got a mentor and someone who believed in me, my mentor to this day, I'll always remember him. He was he had a YouTube channel. He was, he had a trading group and everything. And one day he texts me. He's like, you're going to start a channel? And I was like, I don't know. I don't want to compete with you. I'm doing my own thing. Whatever. I was kind of and then a few weeks later, I always remember this conversation. He wanted to test a voice software out. And I was in the middle of the woods, alone on a week, in a summer night. And I was just literally on a spiritual woods trip, walking through the woods on a moonlit night. And my phone rang and it was my mentor. And he's actually he's a trading, he ran a trading group and I was underneath him, So I call him my mentor because he's the closest thing I have, and I didn't get to talk to him all the time, maybe a couple times a year. And so my phone rang. He's like, yo, I just want to test out this voice software. How you doing? And we had this hour-long conversation. And he was like, what's up with your channel? What are you doing with your channel? And I remember saying to him, oh, I could never be so consistent as you are. I just like to go sailing. I like to go out. I'm just all over the place. I have friends everywhere. I was like, I don't see how I could ever do a video every day. And I said, you're so committed. And almost as I said that, it must have been it's as those words came out, I remember that I hung up on that phone. And the next morning I woke up and I must have been it was almost my brain said, that's the answer. If you want to do something amazing, you're going to have to commit. And I was always a little afraid of commitment. I knew once I fully committed to something, it was going to take away a lot of the other things. And I
Yeah.
wasn't ready. I wasn't ready like to give up the booze at the bar. I wasn't ready to like, I want to hang out with my buddy on this. I wanted to hang out. Like I wanted to aimlessly hang. Like I was addicted to being a philanderer. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like I wanted to do whatever I wanted to do. I didn't want to be disciplined. And that's a hard life because you'll have fun a lot, but eventually you'll have to discipline yourself. So I eventually realized there was a lot of people floating around like me. I realized I found a systematically disciplined man who helped me in my life. And it's almost like he gave me the bread, like he gave me the red pill. I took the pill. I can't remember when I realized that consistency. Yeah, we all say it out loud, but when I actually I made one video, then another video, then another video. And then, I remember there was one night where someone was like, hey, do you want to come out? And I looked at my computer and I made a video. Right. And then another person was like, and then that person fell out of my life. That was another person I didn't go to the bar and drink with anymore. Like they stopped calling me because I didn't answer anymore. Right. And then and then next thing you know, I had 30 people in a free trading group talking to me. And they were the most positive, nicest, supportive people I'd ever met. Like, and I was so excited to come back to them every day. And it grew and grew and grew. And now I have 800, paying subscribers, like people that care. They write testimonials, and it was my dream. So
Oh,
I
that's what I'll
never,
stop.
I never thought it was going to happen. I did, but you don't know. No one knows the future. Nobody knows the future. You can dream all you want, but you don't know if your dreams are going to be real. I'm like, I finally got a piece of my dreams to be real. And I almost feel guilty. Like, how come it happened to me? How come I got it? So I feel like my patient, my Irish guilt that I was born with, it kind of is to give back to other people. Like if I know a trade is likely to happen, let them see it. Like if I know that that price can pump up to the 200 SMA, let me teach that. Like if I know support or resistance is key and you have to listen, let me teach that. So the passion really comes from my lost nature and being found. And so I just want people to be found. I don't want people to be lost, and if I know something and I can walk by you, if I see you're lost and I have the map, and I just walk by you and I don't at least open the map and show you a few things, I feel guilty about that. I think, and if we all had that, we would all share each other's knowledge. Capitalism is I learn something and then I tell you as little as possible to make as much money off of you. We all have to sell what we do. So I kind of took a balance of it. I learned something and I sell you something, but I try to give you as much as I can, for what people pay for. So yeah, that's kind of really what it is. It's I remember what it was like to be hurt, lost, and alone. And I don't want people to feel that way. And it happened through trading in my group, So yeah. And honestly, I don't know how it all happened. That's why I believe in God. I really still don't understand how trading brought me into this, like my soul can, even me and you, this whole connection that I'm going on. It's a journey. It's a true journey, Yeah.
Wow. That's and I love hearing from you because I hear the emotion in your voice. Literally when we speak, I get instantly emotional because I just know that we relate to each other so hard. I relate to you so much. I had no idea what I wanted to do. And then crypto. And then I was like, oh wow, this is a thing. And just fell in love with it. And just I don't even know how it happened either. I just ended up here and just relating to people like you. It also reassures me and probably a lot of other people with us right now that we're not alone. We're really not getting into crypto alone is really crazy, especially trading, which a lot of people, majority, really don't understand. And just saying, hey, this is going to be my life now. And then seeing people's kind of true colors while you're at it, choosing to go this route. I lost a lot of friends because they thought I was nuts. Why would I rather stay inside and look at crypto than go outside to the park at night? Me and you did kind of the same. You didn't want to go to the bar anymore and you found your passion and people kind of left you for that, which is wrong. So, but do you feel like that benefited you in the end?
Yeah, I mean, it's like this. I try to find simple metaphors for situations, and I always use sports a lot because sports is has a beginning and an end. If you had a friend, I don't know if you had a friend. I saw a few kids, or just noticed, but the person that and just if you just you can even just Google LeBron James or anyone, but at one point, the coach said, hey, you want to stay late and take a couple shots, and they didn't go hang out with their buddies that weren't playing sports, and then the coach was over the house talking to the parents, and sports became their life. and they ended up making millions of dollars and you know, becoming very successful at it. So anything that you want to be really good at, it's sad to say, but what's going to happen is whoever's not doing that at that level that you're doing at, if you want to take it to a high level, like you want to YouTube at a high level, obviously, that you take it seriously. You want to do it every day. This is your life. Like you take it seriously. So you're going to now gravitate and hang out with people that take that seriously. Me and you will be friends. Like BitBoy was at my house last week because he takes this that seriously. And when he was in Boston, I said, hey, I know you need a place to stream. Come to my house. And I actually thought, I didn't know if he would come, you know what I mean? And then I was like, and once he started to come and I knew he was coming, I was like, I started getting like a little insecure, like, damn it, he might, because I said, why don't you come to the studio? And then I went with my wife, I was like, it's my house. It's not a studio. Like, is he going to like, and she's like, you know, he came from humble beginnings. Like, and he even said, he's like, dude, your studio is amazing. He's like, it's way better than what I had. He's like, you know, but it's like, you know, same thing in music. Like if you keep doing music at a high level, you're eventually going to have friends that are doing music at a high level. You just, you know, you'll vibrate towards the frequency that you're vibrating at. And those type of people will, and it's sad to say when you start high vibrating and you stay focused, you see how many people are aimless, and 90% of the masses, not to be rude, are, you know, like where I was too. I mean, everyone kind of gets lost to be found, right?
Exactly.
So, you're in the minority if you're on a disciplined path and you know where you're going to go. Like if you know what tomorrow, if you have your schedule laid out for tomorrow, you're in the minority. You know, most people are not doing that. I wasn't doing that. I researched every billionaire, everyone who had it together. They're waking up early. They have a plan. It's written out. You know, they may not hit every single thing, but their trajectory is discipline, right? They know where they're going to be going. And once you know where you're going to be going, like a friend recently hit me up, said, hey, I'm going to be in Boston. We grew up together. He said, he's now a filmmaker and stuff. He said, could I use your house? I know we haven't talked in years, but if you're home. And I said, no, I'm home. And so we had like 40 people shooting a movie at my home.
Wow. And
one guy was bumping into me. And he's like, and we seemed to like each other. And he's like, hey, we should get a drink sometime. And he's like, could I get your number? And I knew like my mind, like I'd already probably scheduled a day to talk to you. I was on an ATB. I already knew that there was no time in the next 2-3 months for me to go have a beer with that guy. It wasn't going to happen. You know what I mean? So like, told me, he might have been like, yeah. And I would have had a beer with him a week later. So once you get situated and kind of focused, you know, it's just, people are going to drop out of your life that aren't as focused. And that's part of kind of getting to the next level. You know what I mean? But the beauty of that is it's going to open up your space for highly disciplined, highly vibrational, you know, people that are vibrating at a high rate to come into your life. And then next thing you know, the people that are coming into your life are like pretty serious individuals. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Really, you know, like you're rubbing elbows with people that are grinding at a high level. So, man, you don't miss those other people at all. You know what I mean?
Like what is the phrase? Like your vibe attracts your tribe or something?
Vibe attracts your tribe. Amen.
Yeah.
Amen.
Yeah, that's
it. And as you change, you don't want to be around the same group anymore. So you don't even feel the loss that you thought. Now, the old you felt the loss because that's what you were brainwashed into thinking you wanted. Once your brain changes, like you can fly away in 2 seconds. And it's not about leaving people to the wayside. It's about going after your destiny, who you're supposed to be, you know? And that's not easy sometimes to do, especially if you grew up around like some old friends and you want to be around the old crew, you know?
Yeah, it's hard to move on. And I think a lot of people like maybe fell into a little bit of a depression over this bear market as well, because, you know, it's, you know, in the bull market, everyone was so euphoric. Everyone was making money because number was just going up for a while until, of course, we had a retrace, which is inevitable. However, a lot of people, again, are depressed. They're upset. And how do you, like, you know, you're a trader and you've made some hefty trades before, and obviously not everything goes your way, especially when you were first starting out. How do you deal with something like this? And how do you keep your mood up while maybe number is going down?
You know, it's perspective, right? It's all about perspective. Like, you know, I always bring up this scar. Like I fell through this door and like this was gushing blood, right? And like I was saying the other day, so like I might lose a trade, or Bitcoin might go from 69,000 to 20,000, right? But like Bitcoin losing 40 grand is not my arm opened up bleeding on the street. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. So like, thank God I've had those, you know, funny. I fell asleep last night and I don't listen to God on TV ever, but like last night I put on like, cause the Super Bowl ended. And so whatever TV channel was on, and this guy, Joel Osteen, I guess, and he's in like giant stadium with like, it looked like 50,000 people. And he's preaching about God. And he's preaching about how like, he'll make you weep, but like, he'll only make you weep so long until you realize, like, until he gives you like, he'll give you a reward, like something will come of it. And I remember, man, like I was at my wit's end so many times. I was like, is this YouTube channel going to happen? Am I really going to find my way? Is trading going to be my thing? Like, are these, and like, I remember talking to God and being at my wit's end. And it's funny, I wanted to turn the TV off last night, but like this dude was like, every word was like, yeah, I do know that. Like, and I was like, is he sucking me in? Like, is this guy just like good at conning me, or is this, but like, I was just watching and the words were like, and you know, to enter your story, how do I stay positive? It's because, you know, I wake up in the morning and I walk my daughter to school. I mean, so what if a trade or two is down or my portfolio is down? Like, I have my kids, you know. My wife told me she loved me this morning, you know, like she told me don't be late for Team Crypto, got my shirt ready. Like, you know, it's like I have a 2-year-old daughter that said, hi, Dada. And like, she's learning how to give me a kiss and a hug. Like, I was just shaving and she was in the bathroom the whole time. What is that? I sneezed. She said, God bless you last night in the car. She was the only one that said, God bless you. God bless you, Dada. I was like, yo, I find joy in these things. You know, I find joy in life. If you're in my trading group, the first thing I say when I wake up is, you know, usually maybe 99 this morning, I think, but I usually say waking up with gratitude for all you wonderful people in the group and for my life, you know? And then the first thing I go to sleep, going to sleep in gratitude. Gratitude keeps you wealthy. Gratitude keeps you wealthy. Your mind keeps you wealthy. If every day you wake up wealthy, you are wealthy. You are wealthy. You could be worth $1 billion. If you're a crab, if your neighbors don't like you, if your kids don't think you're a nice person, if you and your wife don't say, peace be with you in the morning, if you're overweight and not taking care of yourself, but you have billions of dollars, like you are not wealthy. I'm sorry. Like you may have a big bank account, you may be able to buy a yacht, but you are not wealthy. You don't get to experience true wealth on this earth. Love, connections. So like I used to think wealth was only money. And yes, if you don't have enough money, sometimes it can drag you down. Like we do need a certain amount of money to be content. But like wealth isn't money to me, you know? And at one point, this is a 2-year bear market, 3-year bear market. We know the halving comes in 2025. Instead of focusing on the negative of the bear market, I'm focusing on what I need to do to build even more wealth in 2025. And I tell everyone too, this is the coolest thing. When you focus on Satoshi stacking, it's almost like a blessing. So like I focus on how many Bitcoins can I get? You know, I have this 100 Bitcoin. People can call me conceited. I don't really care. I aim for 100 Bitcoin by 2026. I almost have 10. Who cares if you know, I'm on my way to 100 Bitcoin. Like I want to 10X my Bitcoins and maybe I should have more. Maybe I should have less. Who cares? You can judge me, but I want 100 Bitcoin. If I focus on that, then I don't really care. Like as the market goes up and down, like I bought $5,000 of Bitcoin yesterday. Like I'll buy a couple, 2 days ago, I'll buy a little more. You know, I'm watching the market. I'm waiting for some more fear. If it comes down, I have a goal 3 years from now to get to close to as 100 Bitcoin as I can. And honestly, like I'm on that treadmill right now. I'm not focusing on negative stuff. I do get down sometimes. I read the news, things happen to me, but I take a deep breath. I realize how much better my life is than it used to be. I used to work a night shift, everybody. A night shift. I used to live in a 1-bedroom apartment. Okay. Me and my wife tried to have a second kid for like 4 years and couldn't have one. Like there was a lot. Come on. We thought it was stress, issues, life, you know, whatever it was. I moved out of New York City. Then I had my second child. So like I didn't have the things I have now. Life is way better than it used to be. How can it not get better? Even if we're just going through this tough time. Yeah.
Wow, that I'm emotional. You're amazing, and I think we should all be grateful and of like our emotional wealth. I feel like of course money keeps us content, but the surroundings are so important, and just like having people that support you, or like even you supporting yourself is important. And even Love Learning, they said that they remember the day you were called in the woods and they were so excited, and that you were so excited and grateful, and they remember how much it meant to you. Love Learning said. And yeah, even you sharing that story, it sticks with people. And it's important that you share that because I think it's really inspiring for other people. And especially like you saying that you want to get to a goal of 100 Bitcoin. Frick everyone that says you're conceited. That's ridiculous to say that you're conceited. It's just a goal that you have. Like I still have the goal of getting to 1 Bitcoin. I'm still working on it, man. I want to get 1 Bitcoin. I want to have 10 Bitcoin. Does that make me bad? No, because we understand what's going on here. There's only going to be 21 million Bitcoin in the world to ever be created. So why not get your hands on that? Why not set your goals and inspire other people with your goals? I think that's crazy. And especially now, like, if you want to buy Bitcoin, then buy it. If you don't, then don't. But don't shame someone else for trying to set their own goals and better themselves.
See, I still sometimes suffer from negative self-talk. Maybe no one cares that I'm buying. I always think there's someone like, just lately.
It's always like that with content creation.
There's just more people throwing darts at you. And I'm always
of course.
I'm always wondering how one thing I say gets turned off into the other way. You know what I mean? So I want to remain as humble as possible. And I want people to understand that, that as we grow in life, really, we can use popularity really just to help more people. Like, exactly. You know what I mean? Like if you get more known, you can help more people. And, you were on the news. I saw you with the mayor of New York City. You know what I mean? Like, that's the coolest thing ever. You know what I mean? So like, Thanks, as far as I'm concerned, I'm honored to be on your show. You know what I mean? Like you've interviewed bigger people than me. Like this is amazing, So
no, you're the best. And I'm always going to be here for you. Like, I hope when you get like too famous, you remember me, because no, you're really amazing. And even Tim in the chat said something really awesome. He said, focus on your own life. Others won't do it for you. You're the only one who can make it happen. It's exactly facts. You're the only one that can make it. You're the only one that could make sure you make it. And, you lifer with TA, I think has honestly inspired a lot of people. I watch your streams and I'm always looking to learn more about the charts. And, what do you think you should be looking for right now, considering that like we were even talking about pre-show, everyone's emotions are all over the place. We don't know what to think. We're like 30K Bitcoin, 20K Bitcoin. What's next? I mean, I don't know. I feel like a lot of this stuff is psychological and we have so many things going on in this world right now.
Yeah, I'm just going to jump in the chart for a second.
Oh, cool. Yay.
That's cool.
Share ways. Smash the likes, fam. All right, let's get after it.
First thing I'm going to do is one of my little like mind theory ideas. So you're a trader, right? This is you or a person, all right? And here's a window, okay? And the trader is looking out the window, all right? That's you looking into the charts. Now, let's just say you're a farmer looking out the window at the farm and you're watching all the things that happen to the animals and the wind blowing and the trees, right? And so the more you watch, the more you know about the farm, correct?
Yes.
So if you decided now, what if you stared at the north side of the farm more than the south side? You would know far more about the north side, agreed?
Yes.
So like this is a very simple idea, but I use so I'm the farmer, I have my window, and this is the 200 SMA. And I've been watching this on multiple assets for years, all right? Years. And I first started seeing certain things happen and just observing them, having no reaction to them. Then I traded them, then I watched them, then I traded them right, traded them wrong, did more back testing. And I came to some like pretty like, nothing is guaranteed in trading. Anything can happen. But I came to some things that I could almost look at you and say, this is like happens 90% of the time, right? So I trade this 200 SMA. The second we got a 4-hour candle above this 200 SMA, I got excited. All right. And
that's the white line, right? For other people.
No, the yellow line.
The yellow line for everyone that's watching. Okay.
This big chubby yellow. Yeah, this yellow one. Now watch. I like to jump into another asset. I want people to understand that if you ever were, take a class with me or learn anything that I teach you, you could put it on any single asset in the world, right? So what I'm teaching you right now on Bitcoin is the same on any asset. So look, we're going to look at Tesla right now. All right. Mm-hmm. Look at Tesla's most recent bull run really that it had. It came in at $16 and they did dilute or whatever, but just take, it came in 16, $19 and it went all the way to $300. Okay. How did that start? How did that rally start? Right? What was the first thing that began when that rally started? And if you look and you go down here to this date, which was about September 19th, September 11th of 2019. Interesting, 9/11. But the first thing happened was price action closed candles above the 200 SMA on the 4-hour time frame.
Mm-hmm.
See that?
Yeah.
Massive rally began. Here it got above. Look, nice pump. Here it got above. Nice pump. Here it got above. Nice pump. Here it got above. That's still a swing trade. Here it got above. Massive pump. Here it fell below, but once it got above, a little swing trade. And then if you go the opposite, here it got below. It struggled a little bit, but then it dumped. Here it got below. It dumped. Retested. Dumped.
That's so interesting.
I've been teaching my students, like, you can basically have an account called the 200 SMA account. And like literally all you do is open longs and shorts based on this idea. All right. And now the thing is, you don't know. See, like sometimes it's a lackluster rally, like it just comes up, right? But sometimes it's huge. So what you do is you just keep a stop loss. And once you get to a certain raise, you just keep raising the stop. Sometimes you get here, sometimes you get there. But the point is, you'll be right like most of the time. And the trades aren't going to go perfect. You're going to have to kind of feel them out. So this is kind of what I'm looking at. So today on my live stream, someone said, how come the S&P isn't following Bitcoin like it normally does, right? And I said, well, if you're my student, you would know that the S&P is above the 200 SMA on the 4-hour time frame. So it's still bullish. That's a bullish sign, right? But Bitcoin is not. Bitcoin has lost the 200 SMA on the 4-hour time frame. So when we zoom into Bitcoin, the second we started having trouble was this weekend when we decided to go below the 200 SMA, my yellow line.
So what was the last time we went above it?
All right. So this is why I knew we were on a rally. So that when I started getting heavy about Bitcoin pumping down at 16K, Bitcoin had just gotten above the 200 SMA. See? And so I called this when I said, so like, I'm very simple. You get it?
Yeah.
And so I use this metaphor. You go outside, you feel 3 raindrops. Now, every big storm starts with 3 raindrops. But does that mean that every time you feel 3 raindrops, it's going to be a big storm? No, it could be like a little storm that just comes in and out. It could be some sprinkles. So like, you can't make 100% guarantees of anything in trading. So you can't say every time we get above the 400, we're going to pump. But you can say there's like a 90% chance, and you can't say that. And now once you get back below, we could just stay here a little bit and then get back above it, right? But I knew the second we got below it on the 4-hour, now what will happen is we'll stay below it, all right?
Because we retested, it seems.
It did it, and that's usually when you get a dump, because you try to get above it, and we couldn't get above it. And so, boom, we dumped down,
Interesting.
Right? So you like to trade the short. So had you opened up the short here, you would have been in, and you had to keep the stop loss. See, the thing is, this is what's called a predicament trade. It's like a weirder trade. So like, you'd get in below here, and you just know that your stop always has to be on the other side of the 200 SMA. And literally, as long as you keep it on the other side, you should not get stopped out. So now you were down for a while, but now you'd be back in the green on this trade. But now you'd be kind of at break even. The point is, they're kind of insurance trades. You just open them and see how they work. And like, 5 out of 7 times, you'll get a really good rally in the direction that you want it to go in, right? So now what I do is, and I've backtested this now. So what happens is, really interesting is, and then you're getting a death cross there. See the 50 going to come for the 200.
Yes.
So this is really interesting. What happens on time frames is, it's like a flip book in a way. It's kind of like a flip book, but it's trying to think of the best way to think about it. But things happen first on the smaller time frames. So what will happen is you'll fall below the 2. Like, watch. You got above. It
confirms like smaller time frames can
So
or
look,
you can confirm larger time frames with the smaller time frames.
Well, it's even more than this. Like we got above the 200 SMA on the 4-hour on June 8th or January 8th, right? And so that told me that the daily would eventually get above, but we didn't get above until 4 days later, the 5th. So you'll get above the 200 SMA on the 4-hour first, then you'll get above the 200 SMA on the daily. You get it? And so I was waiting for this to happen. And then just like on the 4-hour, once you get above the 200 on the 4-hour, you get a pump. You should, once a daily candle closes above the 200 SMA, you should get a pump as well. And so I knew when these things happen, like I'm just, listen, I'm going to drop some sick alpha right now.
Oh, drop it.
Whoever's watching. Check this out. I backtested these theories on the daily time frame. And it's the same way on the way up as it is on the way down. When price action gets really tight and the other moving averages get jumbled, what you'll see is you'll get these explosive moves right back up to the 200 SMA on the daily time frame.
That's a crazy
I went
mix.
and found 12 coins, 15 coins that all are in waiting to get to that 200 SMA. And basically, these are just like predicament trades. You just hold them till they go up to that 200 SMA. And I can't guarantee it, but Shift did it today. I looked at Shift like a week ago and I put it in this list. And I said, listen, I can't tell you when, but when a coin gets tight on the moving averages, it likes to pump up to the 200 SMA. I said, this coin is likely to go up, and I left this open and I gave them all 10 of these that are likely to occur today. Boom. It did exactly what it was. Look, I backed it to this for years and went right to the 200. And we actually went past it for a gain of 86%. Now, I don't know when it's going to happen. These are just trades that are like most likely are going to happen. Like I've backed to this for years. It's just crazy. So this is the same kind of concept. And if you go to the 4 hour, you got above the 4 hour first, and then you'll go and get above the daily. So I've been tracking this on multiple. I've been watching bear markets turn into bull markets, and this is what happens. You'll get above the 4, and then above the blah, blah, blah. So right now I'm in a standing still point because I'm happy that we're staying. I'm not happy that we lost the 200 on the 4 hour. Not a good sign for me. For my trading style, that's bearish. I have to now either in the next week we get back above this, or we're eventually going to come for it on the daily. And that means we're going to end up below it on the daily too. And that's not going to be a good sign. That means we could revisit 16,000. So all I know is what the moving averages tell me as they tell it to me, right? Now, we just got a golden cross on Bitcoin. That's a good sign.
And then we had a death cross.
On the weekly, though. Yeah,
exactly.
See? Yeah, so you got this. It's like, now, death crosses on the weekly. I went over this recently.
Mm-hmm.
This is how I go over this stuff. I go find a big asset like Tesla, right? Or the Dow Jones is the best one to do this on. And I went and I found all the death crosses that I ever found on the weekly in my life, right? Because this is how I trade. See, I need everyone else uses all sorts of indicators and stuff. I kind of make my brain the indicator. Like I just want to see
that's the best
information,
way.
So here we had, and you can see.
Wow, that's a crazy chart right there.
Yeah, but here, look, we have a death cross on the weekly there, right?
And dump.
I mean, we dump right after it pretty hard, but we're already pretty much through a lot of the dump. You know what I mean? I guess, from the initial dump way back then. But look, remember, price action gets above the 200 SMA. I mean, I'm telling you, man,
that's a moon right there.
Yeah, and then you're gone. Like, you're just gone, right? And then it comes down, it touches it a few times, and then you're just gone, right? And then here you have it here. And so we had one right there, a death cross. And yes, we did dump more. Now, this one was interesting. Here, we had already dumped pretty much like this far, and then we just added a little more dump to it. Like we were at 8,000, and then we dumped even to 6,005. So still almost a 25% dump.
Wow.
But the point is...
And this is years.
Yeah, so, you don't get a lot of death crosses on the weekly. It's hard to find. You know what I mean? You have to look at some big assets to really find it. A lot of times you're like, see this one, you were like basically almost through the dump already by the time you had it. It can be a latent signal, meaning like the price has to dump far and then drags it down.
It was like the last leg for that dump before the big jump up.
What's got me going is we got everyone saying, see, I'm also looking at the political polarizational space. And I know there's a group of people in power right now in the behind the scenes, and I believe they'll do anything they can to maintain. And if they get exposed, they'll wreck an economy. They will destroy, like they'll do whatever it takes. So that has me watchful, like thinking like maybe they will cause an insane world depression and everything's going to tumble and Bitcoin will go to 12K again. Like Bitcoin will come out of it. I'll tell you right now, Bitcoin will be the phoenix out of the ashes. Like if 100%. They do a severe world dump, because everyone will be the wiser at that point and Bitcoin will be the first asset to pump because no one's going to trust any organization ever again. Like it's just going to be, people don't realize they can have bail-ins. People could just take your money. I mean, I don't want to scare people, but like, your money in the bank is like as safe as, I don't know. It's not Bitcoin in your hardware wallet. That's all I gotta say.
No, it's literally like
the money. If you had $1 million and I had $1 million and we both wanted to go to the bank today and get our cash, there's
absolutely
no way me and you would walk out with suitcases full of cash. Like it's not gonna happen. If 200 people went to the bank and we all asked for $5,000 right now, it would cause a frenzy.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
They don't keep more than like, I think a bank in general keeps like, I bet they keep like no more than like $250,000 cash. I think they don't even keep as much cash as you would think.
We need proof of reserves for the banks, man. Proof of
Yeah,
reserves.
they want proof of reserves for BSD. They don't do proof of reserves. You know what I mean? This is my
Exactly.
wacky idea with the Dow. See, I got this funky, like, could the Dow. Now, if we look at the Dow's in a different case too. The Dow's above the 200 SMA on the 4-hour time frame, and it's maintaining that. See, this is kind of strange that Bitcoin's struggling but you have to remember, Bitcoin's in its own bear market too. Right?
Yeah, it's its own thing.
It's doing its own, it's going through its own 4-year cycle. So coming back to Bitcoin, we see this nice double bottom. For me, we got to get back above the 200 SMA to remain bullish. Like I'm bearish now. Like I am bearish until we get back above that area, because that's how I trade. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And what's funny is what people will watch me and they'll be like, I'll be bullish, right? If they don't understand this concept, they'll watch me come back a week later and like, he said he was bullish last week, now he's bearish. Oh, I don't want to watch this guy. He changes his mind every time. But like, he doesn't realize that a true trader doesn't have his mind made up.
Exactly.
A true trader knows nothing but the fact in his own ignorance and only trades the probabilities that his charts give him. All I know is when I'm above, and I showed you why. Like, I mean, I can prove you why I believe these things. And you can go back in any chart you want and backtest all my theories, and you'll just have truth revealed to you. Like, oh, that's why he does this. I see the method to his madness now. I get why he says that. So you can backtest all my theories and find them to be true. That's why I love teaching what I teach, because I know you won't be like, oh, this isn't some swindler guy who like is selling me some snake oil. Like, this is real stuff, and I can find it on multiple assets for the last 20 years. And you can find it. Well, how did I figure it out? Because I sat there in the charts until the data's in the charts.
Exactly. No, you did the work. You did the work. Only people you only knew that because you did the work, you put in the time, you put in the effort, and you research, which is what everyone needs to do.
I nerded out.
No, exactly. You need to nerd out, and this is your passion, so you love it. And honestly, I think I agree with you. Like, you can't be bullish and stick to it if there's new information presented to you that makes you think otherwise. Then you're actually misleading people if you're saying you're bullish and sticking to it when you know that's not the true case and how you actually feel. So wouldn't people rather you be transparent with them and they stay updated with what you're doing instead of you like kind of just sticking to one side and just like hoping it comes through that way? It's silly. I appreciate your honesty.
You just gave me a great epiphany, right? You're a boat owner. Right? You got your boat sitting in the dock or wherever you have it. Right?
Don't lose your private keys on those, friends.
Yeah, don't throw your boat off. Don't throw your keys off the side. But so this is your little boat, right? Don't leave your boat keys. So here's your boat, and you live in Florida, all right? And you're like, okay, there's a storm coming. They say that I'm going to draw a really messed up version of Florida, all right? But they say you live right here in this little town, and they're like, the hurricane's coming, like. We know that if it starts to go this way, there's a chance it's going to wrap the coast. But if it hits here, it's going to rip out this way. And so you have your trailer at your house, and you have and you call the guy, and he's like, yeah, I could take your boat for $500 for a week to keep it safe. And you're like, all right, I don't want to pay, but I'll do it. So you don't pull the boat out, but you watch the news, and the weather guy's telling you, well, I'm going to give you, I say, at the last minute, I'm going to be able to tell you, but I'm going to give you exactly what could happen. These are the two. And this is very similar to coming to my channel, right? I'm like, here's Bitcoin. And so you have a plan. And if it goes this way, you leave the boat where you had it, and you don't have to take it out and put it in the thing. But if it goes this way, you go and you get that. And so this is the long. The long is leaving it in there. The short's pulling it out. Every trade should have two ideas. If Bitcoin does this, I plan on making a short. If Bitcoin does this, I plan on longing, or I plan on doing nothing. But you have to tell yourself, if this happens, like if we get back above the 4-hour at 200 SMA, I'll long Bitcoin.
Yes.
If we get below the SMA on the daily, I'll short Bitcoin. So I already know what I'm going to be doing in the next few weeks so trading is always if and but scenario. Like if this does this, I'll do that. If this does that, I'll do this, right? It's not I'm going to do this no matter what. Like that's how you lose a lot of money. So you always, because I'm going to leave my boat here no matter what. And then when the hurricane comes, it's going to throw my boat out of the ground. Like you have to have a plan. And if you tell yourself you don't know, that's the only way to be planned, to be ready, right? So so what happens is young traders have an ego. They've been hurt in the past, right? Everyone doesn't like being wrong, right? So what happens is they tell themselves the trade's going to go a certain way. They get into a trade, it goes the other way. They get emotionally devastated by it. They get really hurt because they thought they were right. And so like, if you read Trading in the Zone by Mark Douglas, like you're never supposed to be right. So you can't get upset when the trade doesn't go wrong because you weren't supposed to be right anyway. There's no ego involved. You're just trading a probability. If the probability doesn't
Exactly.
play out, so be it. Like, that's it. You can't attach your beliefs to the trade. Right.
Don't trade with emotions. And I love your if this then that type of type of vibe. I think that's perfect. Have your probabilities, figure it out. Especially with trading, nothing is guaranteed. It's all probabilities and watching the charts as it happens. You really just don't know until you're there.
And Monday has a lot of false moves. Like today, they brought it down. Look how fast they're pumping it back up. Like Monday is called false move Monday. It really is. And
Yeah.
it's funny. It started the morning and I drew this, what's called a symmetrical triangle, right? And I said, if Bitcoin dips, it's likely to dump down to 21.4, 26 if it breaks out, right? And they brought it on a wick to that level and then whipped it and brought it right back down and then bounced it off the 21,400 area. Now you're back at the resistance. How uncanny is this? I drew this line before price action got to it. You see?
Whoa.
You see what I'm saying? Like, what were the odds that it was going to come and hit that level? Because everyone else has this trend line drawn and they took profits on the trend line. So like, this is what bug. I remember when I drew my first shape and I'm like, look, how did, like, it went right there twice.
Yeah, tested it twice.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it fell out of the pattern. It broke back. So what they wanted to do is they fell out of the pattern.
They lost hope in that.
Traders will do, they do bearish retest. So like, I don't like trading Mondays. I tend not to trade. If I have a trade open, I'll keep it open, but I don't like to open up trades on Monday. And the reason is they false move all. It's called false move Monday. Even Tito at Tito Trading, Trader Real, it's false move Monday. Every trader knows it. We watch it all the time. The best days to trade: Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. My favorite days to trade of the week. Most liquidity, most action. Friday, you have low volume. The weekends can be sketchy because you have less volume, so they can scam wick you.
Yeah.
And then you have the volatility of Sunday into Monday, and then Monday false move. So there's just, and I just go through this cycle every week. And like eventually one day I realized it hit me even just 6 months ago. I was like, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, like, because it's like when you're finally in the thick of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like everyone's working. All the markets are pretty much open, like on both, like either side of the world.
Bustle. Everyone's in the move where you can
exactly.
No one's like, and the weekend stops and everyone's like back to staring again. And the Mondays, everyone's like, oh, I don't know, you know. So it's like you kind of need things to kind of move again and get in and out. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I love it. Like the market is really all psychological when it comes down to it. Like, you know, that's what this whole chart is about, you know, buying and selling, greed and fear. I combine the words life, right? I said greed and fear.
Greer.
Yeah. The Greer of the whole thing.
Stephen Greer.
But yeah, like what is there anything else you think we should be looking for, or this is the alpha? This is because you dropped a lot.
Well, this is cool. We have a swing low to a swing low, which is a downtrend. And then this is an uptrend. That was a bullish divergence. It broke out, right? That's why we got the bounce. See, what people don't realize is divergences are liquidation events. Check this out. Price starts to dump, all right? We're gonna talk about what a divergence really is. It's a liquidation event. Price starts to dump. And as it's dumping, you know, you have the people that are already here that are in a short, that are lowering their stop losses into profit, right? And then you have all the newbies that just trade red candles and they just, I'm going to start shorting because it's so, you get a lot of shorts here right now. And the market maker starts to make you feel like it's coming. And then he pulls back on that wick. And what he's to do is he comes up here and he gets all these people that have stop losses and he shreds them, right?
Yeah.
Now, when this bounces, people that don't know divergence think that's the bounce. So they start to long and they start putting stop losses here. All right, because they're long right here. Market maker brings you up. He gets all these people. He hits a resistance, hits another resistance, right? And then he comes back down and shreds all these people that thought that was your bottom. And then what happens is guys like me that have been watching it my whole life, we watch the divergence, and then we get in here after everyone got liquidated. You see?
Yeah.
And then we wait for the liquidation and we wait for this candle to open, and then you may scalp here. Or, you know, if it's a one day, I'm not trading it. Like I know better not to be involved in this. So it's like newbies don't know Monday's false move Monday. They don't realize Friday has low volume. So they'll open up a high leverage trade on a Friday afternoon.
And get
you know
wrecked.
what the odds of you losing money on a high, because like the spread is so big and you just so they're already hurting themselves because they don't understand where they are in the market, right? That's why you should join a trading group, because like you want to, you know, everyone says, oh, trading groups, but it's like even if you did it for a month or two, at least you would get the know-how of someone who's been doing it for a long time. You know, like if I was gonna do car racing and someone said, hey, you could spend a month with a guy who's a professional racer, but it's gonna cost you like $100 a day. It's like $3,000. I'd be like, you know what? The odds of me winning so many more races are so high. Let me give this guy $3,000. Let me spend a month with him. Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
And invest in your
no-brainer.
education.
Yeah. It'd be a no brainer. So like, get around people that have been doing, if you want to do something, get around people that have been doing it. You know what I mean? And make sure they're doing it. Me, I'm doing it. It's every single day. So like, just make sure whoever you learn from is the real deal, and get that information from them. That's how I did it. I hovered my mentors until they gave me the knowledge. I let them know I wanted it so bad that they had to give it to me. I was relentless.
That's
and
the way you have to be, especially in this industry.
Any teacher or mentor has to respect your relentless nature, and they will give you I said, no one can hold information from you when you want it. The universe will give it to you. When you tell the universe you desire it more than anything else, the people who don't even like you will give you it's like compelled. Like they are part of the universe just like you are. And when you ask for it, it has to be given. Like I found this out because I found people that didn't even like me, and I got information from them because it had to be given to me because I desired it so much. Like it had to be given,
Yes, and we desire 100K Bitcoin so much that it will happen, just not right now, friends. Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing your charts and sharing all of your knowledge today. I really do appreciate it. I learned so much today, and I'm 100% going to be watching this back again because it's so insightful. I really do think that learning charts is so important, and even like you were saying, using lower time frames to help with like the larger time frames, I think is especially important. And the 200, you said it was a 200-day SMA, right?
200 SMA, 200 simple, a 200-day simple moving average, smooth moving average SMA. Yep,
exactly. I think that's great, and I think it's super important to be learning about it and just be more aware of like all of these different indicators and try to be your own indicator before really rushing in and putting all these things on your chart. I mean, I'm learning, but I'd rather be my own indicator than use things like Market Cipher for help and confirmations and just like as I'm going. But yeah,
Market Cipher, these things are great tools. Once you know how to drive manually, go grab an automatic car. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
CryptoFace is great. I think Market Cipher is awesome. I taught it myself. There's some days where I can look at it and it's like, and again, if you sit and trade my way for a year, you'll eventually be good at that. If you sit and trade I don't care what indicators someone uses. It's like, if you use the same one, it's just, your consistency is your key. No matter what you're doing in life, your consistency is your key. I always look at who was successful in life, like Tony Hawk. Just picture any name. Why was Tony Hawk successful? Why do we even know who he is? Because he went outside, he got super addicted to his skateboard, right?
Yes.
And I'm sure there was days where people were like, hey, like his old friends, and they didn't skateboard anymore. And they're like, hey, Tony, you want to come to the beach? And he was like, nah, I rock the skateboard now. And then all his friends were people that skateboarded, right? You get it? And people that were obsessed about it. Next thing you know, he's hanging out with the best skateboarders in the world. Only the people that know him and then he's associated with closely are basically the people that are the most skilled skateboarders, right? Because that's where he put himself. So because he dedicated himself with heavy focus and discipline, he became great at what he did. He became remembered for it. All right. Focus and discipline, everybody. It's really simple. Like, find what you love. It'll be easier to stay focused and disciplined at it, because if you love it, it won't feel like a job. And then just nail it every single day, to the point of no return.
No, that's so inspiring, because honestly, a lot of people don't follow their dreams. And then, I even know, even relatives that I speak to, and I'm just like asking them, what are you passionate about? Like, do you even like what you do for a job? And they're like, no. And then I'm like, do you have any passions? And they're like, no. So at the end of the day, it's like, you got to figure yourself out. And I don't think people give themselves the time to do that. And I think some of it could be, attributed to our society. You go to high school, right after that you should go to college and go get a degree, work your 9 to 5, then retire when you're like 60 or 70 years old. The way this economy works, probably not until you're 90. And where's the time to figure yourself out? Where's the time to say, hey, like, this is what I'm passionate about? Friends, we're in crypto. We're enlightened. We've been open to like the financial system and everything going on in this world. And especially with crypto and social media, the geographical barriers have been brought down for us. So let's just get after it and chase our dreams and like do it together. And I think like that's what you represent as well through your community, is just togetherness and doing it all together. So I really commend you for that. And thank you again for just being so inspiring today and like getting me emotional again. Like I really appreciate it.
I didn't cry, so
I
that's
did.
I'm stabilizing today. I just I didn't want it to get too far with the emotions. Like a lot of my interviews lately, I'm like, I don't want people to start thinking I'm like like an evangelist. I am a realist. I've been through a lot in my life. I just want to connect to the people that know the pain, have used their pain to help others. That's what it is. Like if you know your pain and if you use your pain to help others, then you're a lifer. So if you felt like at one point in your life you didn't have all the information or you didn't know everything, and then you helped someone else when you saw them in the same situation, that's really what it means to be a crypto lifer. It's like the movie Pay It Forward, Helen Hunt. It's just paying it forward, man. Pay it forward whenever you can. That's it. And I'm sure I'm not perfect. Sometimes it's like I preach like, oh, but you do the best you can every single day for other people. And honestly, that's going to be the best thing psychologically for yourself. Because when you go to bed at night, you're going to feel good about yourself.
Yeah.
It's selfish to help others in a way. Like I remember someone telling me that giving someone a birthday card is selfish. And I said, how is that selfish? He said, well, don't you feel good when you hand someone a card? I said, yeah. He said, well, it's a selfish act in a way. I said, yeah, but I was considering, I went to the store. Yeah, you went to get it because you wanted that person to feel good because it made you feel good when you made them feel good. And I was like, huh. And I'm not saying all the things we do is selfish, but what I mean long-winded is you feel good when you help other people. So it is good for you, So like when people like, oh, for me, it actually hurts you. Like when you just spread the love, it comes back to you so many times over, you know?
It really does. And I love that you said that because you just got to be real and just know that, like, we're going through this together. Help other people because if you help yourself, you help other people. And then both of you are happy. Would we rather no one be happy or both of you be happy? Let's all be happy. Help each other. Just be with one another, especially with crypto. We're able to help each other.
One last story.
Yeah. Go for it. I'm going to drop your links in the live chat and feel free to let people know where they can find you as well.
Growing up, my dad had two sisters and an uncle. And he wasn't always like, let's go see your aunts and uncles. Like he was very like, your aunt's a pain, your uncle and me don't really. It was like, and I would always be like, why? Like, why can't we see Grant, Uncle Bobby? What, it's like, no, he's just going to drink the whole hair. It's just not going to be. So like my dad had a negative, and whatever, maybe there was a reason, like who knows what went on when he grew up with them. Right.
Yeah.
But so I moved back home to Boston 3 years ago. And I wanted to kind of like revisit these people that like I never got to know. Like I went to my aunt's house twice in my life, my dad's sister's house, 2 or 3 times in my whole life. So I finally look her up. She's 80 years old, right? And I call her up last weekend and I say, she's like, okay, I'm busy. And I say, next weekend, I'm going to come take you to lunch. I haven't seen her in years. I don't know what I want to make sure she's all right. She's 80 years old,
Yeah.
She is the youngest 80-year-old I've ever met. She dyed her hair blonde. She walks like twice a day. Like she could outwalk you or me. Like I'm not lying. Like she is not some feeble. She's at a social club. She had like people were waving at her in the parking lot. She knew this person. She had it going on. You know what I mean? But she sat with me and she's like, Sammy, I'm so happy you reconnected with me. And she lives alone. Her husband and her got divorced years ago. Like her kids were raised without their father. And so she lives alone. And it just, I got home and I shed some tears and I was like, man, it feels good to reconnect to people. Like it feels good to reach out. Like, and I was like, I reached out to my aunt. Like, and it's like I didn't look at crypto all day and I wasn't the best in the charts on Saturday or Sunday, Saturday. But I walked with my aunt around the park. She saw my kids. I connected with her. Like, as I get busy and I run this trading group and it's chart, like, I got to step back and I got to remember that this life will go by. And like, I won't walk with my grandma or my aunt or, and I won't take these time to be to the people that matter, And so, just like if you have a long lost aunt out there, if there's someone out there that's alone, maybe you see a neighbor come out and grab their mail. Maybe knock on the door with some checkers. You know what I mean? I mean, it would be crazy at first, but you never know. Like you might bring so much joy to somebody's life. When I grew up across the street, there was a retarded girl. She was retarded, She was probably 38 years old, but she had the brain of a 6-year-old and a 7-year-old. And so I moved into this house when I was 7. So we became friends, right? And as I got older, this is my first like really real lesson in maturity. As I got older, she kept wanting to come and play checkers with me. And eventually I was 12 and 13, and she would say, Sam, you want to go play checkers? And I'll be like, yeah, like, come on and play some checkers, you know? And like, that's when I knew, like, I was learning, like, you know, that like, it's not all about you, and the things you can do for others are amazing, you know? So like, I would play checkers with her. She eventually passed away. I haven't thought about her in years, but this is making me think about it, you know? It's just like, but we can just, and that story's hitting me hard in the chest right now, you know? And like, thank God that my parents taught me. Like my mom was like, you play checkers with her, you know? You don't go run with your friends. Like, you know? And then at one point my parents gave me, you know, I could have made the decision myself, right? And that's when I knew I had matured. I was like, you know, it was more important to me to realize that she didn't know any better than to go do whatever I wanted to do as a kid. So we learn these lessons so we can teach our kids, and our kids make this world a better place. You know, I'll leave it with that. I'm sorry to go so far deep.
No, that is just so beautiful. Like, no, that was just really beautiful. And thank you for sharing it, because I think like just selfless things like that are really important, and not a lot of people even think about doing something like that. And I just think that we do need to be more respectful of each other, be grateful for one another, our presence, our time on this earth. And like, you know, you never know who you're going to impact. Even if you just like smile at somebody on the street, like you really just don't know what that does for other people. And, you know, sometimes like the littlest thing, like a hello or just like a wave could really just like make somebody's day, or just like you smile, someone else smiles, and maybe you'll get like that selfish end where it makes you happy that you made them happy. But at the end of the day, like you're still making somebody else happy, and that's what matters. And then if you make someone else happy, maybe it's a chain thing. Like you make someone else happy, then that person makes someone else happy, and then happiness spreads throughout the world, and not as much hate and like just things like that. So thank you for sharing that. And I really hope that other people take that story and just like go call somebody, or like go outside and touch grass and like talk to others and just like make life count. And essentially. Thank you so much for sharing that. Like, Sam, I really appreciate it. And I appreciate you being like so like truthful on the show and sharing your charts at least.
And people are going to make money or not. They're going to go up and down. Crypto's going to be here. And if they look back and realize that there's nobody in their life, they've made no connections, they haven't reached out to anyone, you know? So you do, and you get back everything.
It's the wealth.
Life. So if you want to be loved, if you want to be cherished, then you got to put it out there too. Then you have to love, then you have to cherish, then you have to make those phone calls. If you want your phone to ring, you got to call other people, right? You want someone to kind of knock on your door one day with some banana bread and say, hey, I was thinking about you. I had some extra bananas, made it, you know? Then do the same for others. Like be considerate and just, you know, I have to I talk to myself now, because as my group grows, I got to remember to always look at my regular life too, and take time out of my life, you know, to just be there for my aunt's she's the nicest woman in the world, like such a nice person, you know? So
yeah. Shout out to Crypto Wifer too, because Crypto Wifer, if it wasn't for her, man, like she's amazing. I wouldn't even be here. Yeah. She's amazing. And
she
thank
runs
God
my
for her.
schedule.
No, she's great. And tell her I said hello. Make sure when you hop off of here, you say hi to her for me, because she's an amazing woman, and like her supporting you the way she does, and like making sure, like you even said before, like she made sure you weren't late for the show, and you know, your shirt and everything. Like that's like the stuff you need in this life. And like, you know, if you're able to find someone like Lifer did, then you're fortunate. And if you didn't find someone, yeah, someone is out there for you. Whether that's like a significant other or a friend, like someone's there for you, and just put out that positive energy like Lifer said, and your vibe attracts your tribe. So thank you, my tribe and our tribe right here, for hanging out with us and being on this journey with us today. And I know me and Lifer will be back having more deep conversations soon enough, but Thank you so much for even being on this journey with me. Like, a lot of these people have been here with me since I was 17, and now I'm going to be 20 in 3 days. So there's a lot of change going on in our lives, and I'm grateful.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And I'm grateful that you are here for me, Lifer, and I'm grateful everyone in the chat is here for me as well. And we're all here for each other, going on this journey together. Because again, maybe we can't go to people in our daily lives and say, hey, like, did you look at the Bitcoin price today? Why the hell is it under $23,000? Why are we struggling with 21K? No one really understands that except for us here together. So again, thank you guys so much for coming. Thank you, Lifer, for coming. And I'm a little emotional. I need to go outside, touch grass right now, and just feel some fresh air. But thank you guys so much. I really do appreciate every single one of you for coming. Thank you for putting that positivity out there. Share some love to the stream if you could. I'm grateful for anything. Smash the like, subscribe, share the stream out with friends so more people could really just have a little bit of a reality check today, and comment after the show is over what you are thankful for. If you're a part of the 333 Lifer fam, comment it down below. And thank you so much. I'll see you guys tomorrow, 12 p.m. Eastern, for the Daily Zest. Thank you again. Have a great day. And as always, stay zesty. Peace, my friends. Spread love.